A very warm welcome to all our listeners on NRI Samay. This question might have been, asked, plenty of times in our day-to-day routine. How was your weekend? What are your weekend plans? This is has always become like a way to greet the other person. And our typical responses would be either we are spending time with the family or our friends, talk about how we went on a weekend trip, or went to a movie. So basically, it's always about me, myself, and my family and my friends. But Harish Srinivasan instead saw this weekend as a way to contribute, the human labor to the farmers, especially those who cannot afford to hire the labor in their own fields. And he called himself and later on the group that he helped found as the Weekend Agriculturist. So let's welcome Harish to our show and talk about how his weekend plans made him a weekend agriculturist. So Harish, welcome to NRI Samay.
Thank you, Suresh. Thanks everyone for listening to this, and that was an awesome introduction.
Thank you. So Harish, I'm very, very curious. So I'll start off with my first question I've been waiting to ask you.
Yep.
When you ask this question or when you tell your friends about what you did over the weekend, and that was to help the farmers with their labor work, what are the typical responses that you have gotten in all these years that you have started this effort?
Okay. First, they are taken back. They're very surprised about it. A lot of reaction is like, yes, we are also interested in it and we want to do it, but we'll never hear back. Somebody will be really interested and join you for a couple of weeks and disappear. And they will say, yeah, we also want to be part of what you are doing, but our time schedules are different. We cannot do this. We have a lot of constraints. My wife doesn't allow. My parents doesn't allow. Various responses. But yeah, swings from positive to all negative responses. But so far, it's all welcoming responses. That's why we have grown from 0 to 8,500 today.
So you said 5,000 people, right?
8,500.
8,500. So, and how long did this take for people to take you seriously, that they really saw that this was one definitive way to contribute back to our farmer friends? Because a lot of times when people hear these kind of issues, they often brush it aside saying that, oh, this is an issue that the government needs to undertake, or there's some other NGO who will worry about it. Why does it have to be me who has to do something about it?
Right. So to answer this question, right, I'll just give you some background about how we started and what we have become. That will give better context. So when about like mid of 2012, there were a lot of, again, Tamil Nadu and India was going through tough time with no rains or very little rain, and there was a lot of farmer suicide happening. And I was also reading about all this in the news and did not know what to do, what I can do about it, because I'm basically not from an agriculture family, and I'm not so wealthy to finance some farmer or do anything within my power.
Mm-hmm.
So constrained about all these things, thinking about it, and I was reading a book from Kavinyar Vairamuthu. He's a poet from Tamil Nadu. A book named The Third World War. In Tamil, it is Moondram Ulagapor. This book, most of his books relates to village subjects, agriculture and life in the villages and etc. So this particular book was talking very precisely on the agriculture itself and how their life is and what influences them to go to to make suicide or how people live there, etc. It pointed out clearly that it is not someone's responsibility, but it is us who are not acting is causing this problem or causing any problem. And it is us who have to become the change to bring in any change. So that was a huge impact. So that put a thought into me saying that what I can do about it. Now, given so many hindrances, constraints, what I can do about it. And in the same time period, I was reading in Hindu paper that like every year we are losing about like 1 lakh to 2, somewhere around 1 lakh to 2 lakh native or traditional farmers, which means that either it is becoming corporate farming, or it has been taken over by landlords, or it has been taken over by infrastructure companies, something. So we are losing the traditional farming people, no more. So I thought that it is right time to act, and I should, since I do not have any background, I thought the right place to act is from the grassroots level. So grassroots level is I have to become them, but can I? Basic question arises is, can I become one of them? And I do not have any experience. But if I become just one of them, how can I help them full time? So that is where this thought process came in. Like, okay, can I go ahead and help so many people, making a group of people and contributing towards their work rather than providing them financial assistance. And if the group expands and the group gains the knowledge, and if they can spread, and if they can go ahead and make this collective knowledge into something useful for the community, the farming and agriculture community, what could be the result? And that is where this whole talk came into, and this group, or the Weekend Agriculturist, started. It took about like almost an year for us to standardize what we are doing. Because when I just go and ask a farmer, I'm going to come to your land and help you working free, nobody is going to agree to that. I don't just allow anybody to come into my home and clean my kitchen.
Very true.
So it was a very tough job to convince those people. So to start with, what we did is we took help, or we took help from people who are educated and converted into farmers. We explained this idea. They were so fascinated, and they said that definitely this idea is going to be a hit. So we started working in their farms first. So looking at that, the neighboring farmers started asking, why are these guys working only for you for free? Why don't they come and work for us? Then we explained them. That is what our goal and our thought process is. You guys are not allowing us. We are exhibiting how we are working, and we started making YouTube videos. We started making, as in to pull in the youth into this. Social media was our to-go place. So we made use of YouTube, Facebook, and everything. And we went in person, worked in different farmlands, different people, and then made sure we also learned in the process. So to set up this base, it took like one year at least for us. So by that time, we also started getting some media attention and everything, and then every week and every day we started posting things like this, what we did, and we also we also monitored the progress. Like this week we sowed like 250 saplings or something, and after 1.5 months, what happened to that? So we tracked it and posted. So people started believing us. People started trusting us. Then they saw there is a value in it, and people started writing for us, like how they have learned and how they have evolved. So we started attracting more and more youth into it, and also media's helped. Times of India, Hindu, and a lot of other like Bombay Times, Sunday Times published about us, and then people started noticing us, and then they started joining our group and started volunteering. So building that trust took a lot of time.
Right. And what is some of the nature of the work that you started doing with the regular farmers? What kind of work what did they actually trust you with?
All right. So what initially when we started it, we had to go ahead and work with any farmer who can take our help. And later, the thought process we had in mind was to help only the small and marginal farmers. To get the trust, we worked with any farmer who gave us any help, and they were also ready to teach us because we are also freshers. We do not know anything. So we started with harvesting. That was one of, I won't say easiest job, but compared to all other stuff, harvesting came in naturally to us.
Okay.
They could trust us with harvesting because any mistake that can happen will not cost them a lot. And so we started with harvesting, and then we went to ground tiling, and then now we are at this point in time we are doing everything from sowing to tiling to harvesting to de-weeding to everything we are doing.
Okay.
So how we define the small and marginal farmer is anybody who owns less than 4 acres of land. We define them as a small and marginal farmer.
Okay. And did this work also get more involved as you build the relationship with the farmers? You said you started out with harvesting. Did you also get into other aspects of farming?
Yes, we do. Like what we started doing is building a knowledge repository and also connecting farmers. So in the process of learning, what we gained to or what we came to know is there is no defined process. The process or the way of farming changes from place to place, city to city or village to village. Everything changes. So we started building this knowledge. And we also started visiting people who are doing very successful in sense profitable models. We started learning from them. For example, somebody would have implemented a very good rainwater harvesting system, and they would have been self-sufficient with water. They don't even have to depend on groundwater. So we went there, learned about it. Somebody would have implemented drip irrigation. So we went to those places. For an example, drip irrigation was very successfully implemented in Dharapuram area in Tamil Nadu. So we went there, we learned it. So we write blogs about it. And then whenever we go to farmers in Tiruvallur district, Kanchipuram district, where drip irrigation is not so much welcome, we tell them like, this is how someone else has been doing it, and this is the benefit they have been getting. And then we try to connect those farmers, and see if they get benefited out of each other. So those kind of work we started doing. And later we also realized it is organic farming or organic agriculture is the best way of doing, which is our traditional way of farming, which we have been doing for many 100 years, which we forgotten for last 100 years. So we started learning about it in the process, and also we started to read about traditional farming or palekar methods. And then whenever we go to a farmer, we try to talk to them and explain them why inorganic farming is not so good, why they should fall back to organic farming. It's very tough to convert any farmer because there are a lot of problems involved from converting from an inorganic to organic farmer. Right. So these are the value adds that we can provide as an educated people.
I was about to ask you, convincing the farmers on that note, you said it's really difficult. Were you able to convince any of them or at least to give it a try going the organic way? And what has your experience been in all these 3 years? Like how many farmers were receptive to this change?
Okay, so on that particular thought process, right, so we haven't successfully converted anybody from inorganic to organic yet.
Okay.
But we are constantly talking to them. We are giving that background because it's not an easy job. They've been doing it for like so many years, and we are like, when they look at us, we are like kids.
Yeah.
So they don't trust us so easily. So we have to give them so many examples. We have to tell them how to do it. And again, it's not one farmer because these guys are small farmers. and their neighbors also have to change to become an organic farmer. So you have to talk to a community of farmers and then ask them to change like that. We are also talking to the next generation of those people or those farmers, so that at least the next generation will teach their parents or grandparents that they're ready to change. So yeah, as I told, we haven't successfully converted, but at least they are receptive to this thought now. So all that we have to do is to give them some proofs, examples, show them some implementation that has been done, and also how to talk to the whole community of the neighbors who are also sharing the land. And then we are trying our best to get them into organic.
Right. No, I mean, your work definitely is dealing with two very difficult aspects, right? One is, understanding the farming issues and trying to see how best you can, sort of influence a change. And on the other side, it's equally difficult to engage the ordinary individuals, like, people like me, into the farming crisis, helping them also understand this crisis. Now, if we focus on that aspect, and like you said, you grew about 8,500 people so far. So when you make these weekend plans, do you go with a specific agenda, saying that, okay, this is the farm, this is the land where we are working, where we will work, and these are all the different kinds of works we are going to be doing, and I need 10 people or 20 people, because this is a commitment I believe you will be giving to the farmer, that X number of people will come there and do something like that. Can you tell how that process actually works?
Yeah, sure. So as in how we plan our weekends is, we used to, when we started, right, we used to approach the farmers saying that, okay, we are helping people like that, do you need any help? And once we started building the trust, they started calling us. They do call us now and say that we need so many people, or we need help over here, there. So at least like 5 to 10 days early, we would know like is there any work coming in. Okay. And I can tentatively plan like what work is coming also, but it is not guaranteed. For an example, 15th of November, we had a farm visit planned to sow winter crops, but you know what happened in Chennai? Rain lashed everything, and the whole visit has to be cancelled. So these uncertainties are there, but despite of that, whenever possible, we give like 10 to 15 days, 5 to 10 days notice to all our group members that we have planned a visit, and this is going to be the location, this is going to be the farmer. We also provide the farmer details, like what he is doing, what kind of farming he is doing, his background, whatever we know or we can come to know about, we provide that, and that we tentatively give what kind of work we will be doing. For an example, somebody would call us to do harvesting. But let's say they have told us like 10 days before, and we published the event. But nobody knows that like 2 days earlier they would have finished the harvest because that was the right time. We cannot wait for another 2 days. So they will just say that, okay, we have finished it, but now the harvest is finished. We want to get the land ready for next round. So instead of harvesting, we'll go and do the tiling work or getting the land ready for plowing work, so that next they can do some sowing. So that's how it goes. Like most of the times, we'll be able to do whatever we are saying in the event list, but sometimes it won't happen that way because of nature, and it's all nature dependent. We can predict.
Right.
So whenever an event is planned, what we do is we publish it in our Facebook event list, and then also publish it to our email, Google Groups email, so that email people also will get it. And apart from that, we have a few WhatsApp groups. We publish it over there, and then the event list will conduct like we use. Since all these people are volunteers, we don't want to burn their pocket. So we use as least expensive methods as possible for traveling, accommodation, and food.
Okay.
So we tell them, this is the place we're going to meet at this point in time, and we're going to take these bus numbers or these train routes or etc., all these details. And we also tell them where we are going to stay and how much this is approximately going to cost, because it's just the bus tickets or train tickets, and we know where we are going to stay and what we are going to eat also. So most of our weekend trips won't go beyond 100 rupees, including food, stay, and travel.
So that covers approximately how many kilometers from the place that you live? How far are you traveling during these weekend trips?
100 kilometers. I mean, most of our weekend volunteering happens within 100 kilometers. But whenever we go a little outer, like from Chennai to Kanchipuram, we also do some learning events around Kodaikanal or some other farms which are very peculiar in nature. They have implemented some very peculiar farming or agriculture methods, or a very successful organic farmer. Then it becomes a little expensive, like $250, $300, but that's worth the trip to learn a lot of things there.
Okay. Now, in all these interactions, do you have any anecdotes? Do you have any incidents where the individuals that you were trying to sort of, bring into this weekend agriculturist had like this realization how deep this crisis is? Has any of those incidents happened?
Yes, a lot of incidents, and a couple of things as in Weekend Agriculturist we are proud about is 4 or 5 members after joining us who did not know what to do with. I mean, they had some interest, like they wanted to do the farming or they wanted to start the farming, but they have absolutely no idea where to start from. So about like 5, I would say like about 5 members have started their own farming now. They own a land, or they at least lease the land, and then they started farming. So, I mean, this is most important change we want to bring into the society. So apart from just not only helping the farmers, we wanted to become a platform where we bring in youth back into the agriculture and then provide them necessary base or means so that they can learn and start contributing towards the farming and agriculture. And we have, I would say at least we are on target and reaching that goal. We have become a platform where they can practically come in and learn, experience what is farming. So that when said that, on your question of realization, yes, lots of people have realized how much of hard work it is involved, how much of unpredictability this is involved. You can just see our blogs. It is theweekendagriculturist.blogspot.com. There's a lot of examples where people themselves would have written saying that after coming to this particular event, we have realized it is not so easy to even get a jasmine flower. So a lot of realization happened, and result of that realization is where we have converted a couple of IT engineers back into full-time farmers or part-time farmers.
Right. That's wonderful. Now, in this process, you obviously have worked with a lot of farmers and saw their issues, firsthand. And you're trying to do this change at a very fundamental level and also at a somewhat of a small scale. Now, if you were to reflect on the government policies, is there anything that you have learned in your experience and how these government policies are either farmer friendly or not farmer friendly? Could you opine on those aspects as well?
Definitely. So I would say the policies have to become more farmer friendly. In a way, it has to be more practical enough. See, the policies that you make for one region, I don't think it is going to work for all the regions in India. Some region, the biggest problem would be water. In some region, the biggest problem would be power. In some region, the biggest problem would be labor. For an example, in northeastern India, I don't think you have a lot of labor problem. But if you come to down south in particular areas like Tiruvallur or some other areas, you have a huge amount of labor problem. Same way in Andhra Pradesh, comparatively to Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh is fairly okay in labor. They have their own other problems.
Right.
So that's first thing. Second, the focus on research and development in agriculture is very less. Government should focus more on that. Have you ever heard that any IIT colleges focusing on agriculture and farming?
Right.
They focus on technology, they focus on IT, they focus on getting highest paid jobs. But anywhere are we hearing this IIT has invented something for our farmers? So much of brain power is there, but nobody is focusing on that. And third one, getting back our conventional or traditional farming. We have all the proof that conventional and traditional farming was one of the best ways of doing agriculture. And with that, we have fed so many people. But now, moving into all the non-conventional farming or the modern techniques of farming, bringing in GMOs, hybrids, and fertilizer-based farming, continuously we are facing failures. You see the prices, today's inflation levels.
Right.
Today, you cannot get 1 kg of any vegetable. Average per kg of vegetable is 60 rupees.
Right.
On an average. None of the government is focusing to bring this down, but I will give you a very practical example. When we go to work to a farm, we also try to consume the produce there by paying whatever the farmer is demanding for it, because that way the middleman charges are not there. Okay. So if you buy a 1 kg of brinjal from a farmer, maximum he will ask for 7 rupees, and we will pay him 10 rupees for 1 kg of brinjal, Ujala variety. Same, you come to Chennai, buy from Coimbatore, that will be sold for 15 to 20 rupees. And same, you come to your own street, you get it will be sold for 45 rupees. And the same brinjal, this guy, who the middleman who gets it from the farmer, he gives the farmer only 3 to 5 rupees. So the farmer is very happy even if he gets 2 rupees extra, which is what he's asking, 7 rupees. And he's going to be eternally happy if I'm paying him 10 rupees. Such things have to be controlled. Nobody is earning here. The one who is producing the food is not happy.
Right.
Then who are you making happy here? He's going to leave the farming. He's going to leave the agriculture. Right. What will you do for your food?
Right.
So these are the things the government has to focus. These are the things where they have to do some research. They have to come up with innovation. They have to tell all the agriculture scientists or whomsoever helping agriculture community to come up with ideas, and this is the areas to focus. And going forward, we're going to lose lots of manual labor. So small-scale industrial farming, mechanized farming has to come into picture. We cannot go, our country will not change into corporate farming very soon, but it's coming, but it's not going to happen tomorrow. But by the time, there is going to be shortage of labor in a huge level, and to compensate that, there is no other option than bringing in mechanized farming. I'm not saying it is a bad thing, it's a good thing to bring in, but we are not focusing on that, and all the foreign companies are focusing on a small tiller for, 15 feet tiller, it takes about 65,000 rupees. And which small scale farmer can afford a 65,000 rupees tiller? He cannot. Right. Even with a subsidiary, if he is successful in getting a subsidiary, he can get it in 45,000 rupees. Right. Which is again a huge cost. So these are the problems our government has to focus on. We do not need a free TV. We do not need a free fan or fridge. We need them to be happy. We need them to feed us.
True. Those are definitely some, I think, profound questions, and basically very important ones to fully understand the sustainability of agriculture. Now, interestingly enough, you mentioned corporate farming. Do you see corporate farming as a solution to maybe change things around for agriculture? Do you think that can help to make it more sustainable and bring back people into farming?
I will not say that is a solution, but that is coming.
Okay.
That has to be stopped. If corporate farm comes in, believe me or not, 1 kg of rice is going to pay like 1,000 rupees sometime very soon. And that's not a healthy situation.
True. The reason I asked that question very specifically was that there is a lot of debate, or at least there was a lot of debate when the FDI was proposed a couple of years ago when the Congress government was around. And, this was one of the major topics that was debated, and I wanted to just get your perspective, given that you have been working so closely with the farmers.
Right. Given said that, right, our country is basically an agriculture country. We have all the wealth. The soil is very rich and very fertile. We are killing it. If we can focus much on agriculture, if we can improve the farming community, if we can make innovations in that, we can feed the whole world. We have so much in us. We are not focusing on where we have to, rather than we are focusing on something else.
Right. Well, Harish, thank you very much for the wealth of information. And to all our listeners, if you are curious about Harish's work, as he mentioned, there's a lot of coverage of the Weekend Agriculturist. You can look it up, and you can even read about all the stories, personal interactions on the weekendagriculturist.blogspot.com, and you can directly get in touch with the team in case you are in or around Tamil Nadu, or if you want to start this effort in the place that you are living, please feel free to reach out to Harish and team and seek their guidance and expertise. Harish, any last comments, any closing comments you would like to give to our listeners?
Of course. Thank you so much for listening. And whenever possible, whatever possible, you go visit a farmer who's as much nearby as possible. And whenever you visit a farmer, try to consume from him. That will make him very happy, and you are helping a farmer, not providing some charity, but consuming his product, and that too you will get a very quality product in very lesser price compared to the market. So make it as a practice, at least once in a while, go visit a farmer, consume from him directly, whatever you can. Apart from that, if you can also talk to your kids and future generation, tell them about agriculture, food, make them aware how the food is produced, how the grains are produced. That is more important, and at least they can start focusing on agriculture. Just do not encourage them only to become an engineer, doctor, but also an agriculture scientist. That's more important for us.
Right. Very well put, Harish. And on that note, thank you very much to all our listeners, and also thank you very much, Harish, for taking your time.
Thanks a lot, Suresh, for your time and saying about us in NRI Samay.
Thank you. And we will see you next time again. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, everyone.